How's it going, everybody? So, another round of undocumented changes. When the mid-season patch came out, the things people noticed were kinda sparse, so I initially thought this video will be short. But oh my, was I wrong. Quite a few things came in and lots of other stuff is still being tested, so depending on how these tests go, you'll get another one of these. We all know Ubi has a tiny bit of a problem with version control, meaning quite a few old things came back with this patch. Some of them were undocumented changes in the previous patch, so maybe they actually used the correct version that they initially wanted to use for this patch. I don't know the inner workings, but yeah, a few strange things are back. So let's start with George then. When I made the first frame check from the early access build, I told you guys that this build might be different, and the version that released actually was. Well, now we're back to the version that the early access was. Two big changes are worth noting. First, the guard break vulnerability of the zone, it's back to 400. There is no more option selecting with that move, you will most likely get guard broken out of it. The other thing are the stamina drain values from his bashes, most notably from the parry counter move. That thing drains 30 stamina again, making Yorm even more oppressive stamina wise. So even less attacking because using stamina is not allowed against Highander. The other character that had changes reverted is Hitokiri. I explained that the feint window changed last patch. Apparently I was wrong. The whole sweep move changed, but as it wasn't a planned thing, I didn't record pre-patch footage and I don't know, you guys make up another excuse for me please. Anyway, the move once again has a 1400 millisecond indicator, making the sweep slower. Feinting falls within the usual window. Hito receives a lot of hate, but in-chain offense is a good thing and hers was and still is quite strong. I don't think many people will actually notice the change just from a numbers perspective. Maybe people will notice a slight animation change, but it won't really make a difference for most. I'll keep an eye on this and recheck when the next patch comes. At this point, I can't tell which is the version that Ubi wants to have in the game. I personally prefer the version that came with this season's patch. So here's hoping they revert the change once more. Another change was to Nobushi's bleed. We're back to the bugged version that doesn't get cleansed by bite properly and in general works differently. Bleed should get removed as soon as a shaman bites you, but all the bleeds, except her second part of the zone, do not abide by the rule. The other thing this move does is bug out thick blood. First of all, it completely ignores the feet and still applies the bleed anyways. And the second problem is that it also bogs out the feed for all other bleeds, including all other characters. The built-in cooldown of the feed, which frankly is a weird way of trying to balance the feed, but whatever I guess. The cooldown just doesn't work anymore, it completely ignores all bleeds from that point onwards. This is how it should work. And this is how it works after a Nobu bleed. So an already stupidly strong feed got even stronger. We also went through quite a few other bleed sources but couldn't find any anomalies. It seems to be limited to Nobushi. Another fun change that was found and posted to Reddit is Warlord's late target switch on his headbutt. To get this weird animation you need to swap quite late, I'd say like 100 milliseconds before impact preferably. You then either teleport to the swap target or you headbutt the air. I couldn't really tell which one of the two options happened when. So after recreating this with Warlord, we expected that BP should have this too. His bash was changed at the same time after all. But nope, switching targets was only possible during the dodge startup, but not after you had already started the shield bash. That's how all bashes work and should work. We went through the list and none of the others had a change either. I'm not quite sure what I should think of this, to be honest. This bug will make for some spicy teamfights with Warlord, as it makes the headbutt basically unavoidable on reaction. I hope we'll see it used at least a couple of times in a tournament or maybe just in scrims. It's probably a move that will be banned, but I'm actually curious how it will work out. I don't expect it to stay because animation wise it looks absolutely horrible and unpolished, but mechanic wise it's fun to watch, I guess. But moving on, PK's top light is now 466 milliseconds and not 500 like it has always been. This was discovered by accident on my stream last time, so shameless self-plug here, go and follow me over on Twitch. The change itself, oh well, no one noticed all this time, so how big of an effect can it have? Let's wait and see if we can keep it or if it will be changed back to 500 milliseconds. Highander also had a change to his wave dashing. I don't play the character, so my attempts here are probably horrible, so don't make too much fun of me. It's hard and a pain in the ass to measure there, and with every other patch someone claims that it was changed again, it's hard to keep track. My advice is to go check Spy's stream and bother him about it. Then a few changes to the character that I apparently ruined, Shinobi. 3 changes to be exact. First, smokeless dodge is gone. Every single double dash now has the smoke effect. Previously, if you let go of the movement stick and dodged, you would do a smokeless back dodge. That was important as the kick from forward and back dodges is faster by 100 milliseconds. Second change, his light after a deflect now deals direct damage and no longer bleed. And the third change, after a slight tackle you now have a considerable stamina regen pause. It's almost comical how long it is. Out of lock moves aren't something UB likes, so I guess this is one method to keep the usage of that one at bay. And now for the last 2 changes, both of them were strictly visual. The one most people already noticed and initially thought it was gone because it is quite subtle now is the undodgeable effect. The blue hue on those moves is lessened by quite a bit. It isn't too big a deal, but I also didn't see a reason for the change in the first place. The other visual improvement was to Valkyrie's third side light. The shield now glows orange, indicating it is a bash move displaced in the character. This clears up some interactions of the move, and I guess we can regard the move as a blockable bash that does damage. Unique, but the effect makes sense. And yeah, that's it. Like I said at the beginning, we have a few more things that require testing, mainly Jung. Lots of people claim he had quite a few changes, but hitbox tests, attack arc tests and so on aren't easy nor fun to do. Especially when you don't have proper footage from how it was pre-patch and you need to use random clips of different quality to compare it to. So it might be a while until we have an answer there. I'm hoping for Ubisoft to give some clarification or look into it as well if possible. But yeah, feel free to share other things you think might have changed. Sometimes it's small, obscure things, but don't hesitate to ask or share. I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.